Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with my April 2020 TBR and TBW. So these are all of the books I plan to read and all of the movies I hope to watch in the month of April. So I know this pile might not look very ambitious to some, but for me, it feels like an ambitious, specifically an ambitious TBR pile. And that's because we are under unique circumstances right now. You know, obviously we are facing the coronavirus, and I am in a state, Michigan, where we are on the lockdown, the stay home, stay safe mandate or whatever it's called. And so what that means for me is that I'm very fortunate that I have a career that allows me to work from home. I don't normally work from home, but I am in this situation. They are having my whole company that can work from home. Everybody is working from home. And so what that means is that instead of me driving 2 hours every day to and from work, I now am driving 2 hours once a week, because for childcare reasons, I have to go out to my parents' house once a week so that they can watch my daughter while I work. And so I'm down to 2 hours a week driving. So that means that my audiobook listening has gone from just crazy numbers to virtually nil. I did manage to listen to a few audiobooks during my work from home time because of that drive to and from my parents' house. They were shorter audiobooks. They were actually Audible originals. So I guess it's debatable if they were actually books or not, but I'm counting them as books because they're on Goodreads, so they're counting. That's the end of that. But so what this means, though, is that my TBR pile is almost exclusively physical books. But that said, I do have one audiobook I am going to try to fit in those drives, which, you know, there'll be 3 or 4 drives. We are working from home through at least the month of April, and then we'll see kind of where things are there. Honestly, given the numbers that we're hearing and everything, I wouldn't be shocked if it does extend through May. That said, with all that talk out of the way, I hope that you and your family are all staying safe and staying home during this coronavirus craziness. It is... It's just very scary times, and I hope that everyone is staying safe. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first book I want to talk about is the only book I hope to finish on audiobook this month in my drives to and from my parents, and that is Jaws by Peter Benchley. So this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a very long time, ever since I realized or discovered that the film, the Steven Spielberg film, was based on a novel. I've been wanting to read that novel, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And frankly, I really want to read The Meg, which came out much later than this, but I figured I better read Jaws first because it's obviously going to be a very similar story. So I want to see like the original and then finally, you know, take on a newer telling of that same idea, I guess. So anyway, this book was released in 1974, so 1 year before the blockbuster Steven Spielberg film. So this is a film that I love. Who doesn't? It's classic. It's wonderful. So I really am hoping that the book lives up to those same expectations, just based on what I know from the movie. So we'll see if it does or not. But the only book I hope to do on audiobook this month, thanks to Hoopla, is going to be Jaws by Peter Benchley. So I'll tell you right now, I have 3 physical books, and then I have 2 physical graphic novels that I'm hoping to stuff into the month of April. So moving on to the first physical book, I finished my first Murder, She Wrote a couple days ago, or I guess it was, just a couple days ago. And I don't know why, but the next morning I woke up and I was like dreaming or thinking about the Quarry series by Max Allan Collins. And so I decided, you know what? It's time to dive into book number 2 of that Quarry series, and that's Quarry's List. I might be saying that wrong. Quarry? I don't know. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, but you can read it right there. So Max Allan Collins, I really loved the original Quarry, just entitled Quarry. I really liked that. I read it last year, and that's when I decided I was going to start collecting these in this awesome style, which I think I showed these in maybe it was my December holiday pickups. I don't remember exactly, but these book covers are just incredible. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking out Quarry's List. Not gonna lie, I've already started it, and I'm really liking it so far. Quarry has a knack for having just a I don't know, bombastic, I guess, opening chapter. And the original did, and this one does as well. So, but look how great that cover art is. Isn't it fantastic? it's awesome. So I'm going to read Quarry's List. Fortunately, you can kind of see the font size there. Not huge and not super long, just over 215 pages or so. So I'm hoping I've kind of kept my physical books a little shorter so that they're a little bit easier to get through. So first up on that physical TBR is Quarry's List by Max Allan Collins, which is book number 2 of the Quarry series. So we go from one series to another, and we go from an excellent book cover to a really crappy one. These reprintings of these Animorphs covers are just uglier than sin. I have I found all these at the thrift store, and I think I got like the first 8 or so in this style. And they're ugly, but that really doesn't matter, of course. But anyway, so I want to start the Animorphs series. I used to collect these as a kid, and I never read any of them. And so I started collecting them again because I want to read through them. My buddy Chris is doing these every Friday. He reads a new one, and he's made a good chunk of the way through the series at this point. So I want to start in the month of April. I'm going to read, you can kind of see it on the side there. I guess it's up there. Book number 1, The Invasion from Animorphs, and this is written by K.A. Applegate. So this is a middle grade sci-fi series. So very much in the vein of Goosebumps style, but for a sci-fi reader as opposed to a horror reader. And the best part is it's about 185, 186 pages, just like a Goosebumps book. So hopefully I'll be able to get through this one pretty quickly. This is actually one of the chunkier Animorph books, from the first set at least, that I have. So Animorphs number 1, The Invasion, written by K.A. Applegate, is the second book I hope to complete in the month of April. All right, so the third physical book and fourth and final book overall that I'm hoping to complete for the month of April is one that I am so excited about, and I don't know if I'm more excited about it than Quarry's List because I'm really excited to do that one too, but this one I've been wanting to read for a very long time, and it is finally a novelization. So I'm going to read one of the many novelizations that I purchased in the last few months here, and it is a classic Star Wars, in fact. This is A New Hope. So this is the novelization to the original film. You can see here it's credited to be as written by George Lucas, but in reality it was written by Alan Dean Foster. So the original Star Wars, written by Alan Dean Foster, and this cover, for those that are interested, because some might be, the book was originally released in 1976, and then this cover, this printing of it, was from 1983. So that's why you have the New Hope added in, where of course with the original it was just called Star Wars. So I'm really excited to get to this one, guys. This one is not terribly long. Obviously it's more of like that mass market paperback style font size, but it's just over 200, just about 220 pages. So with these others, I think with how thin they are, I think I might be able to do it. I'm really going to try. And the fact that I'm, locked in my house. But see, the thing is, even though I am on lockdown, and if you're like this, let me know in the comments below so I don't feel like I'm alone, but I get so distracted. Like, working has been incredibly difficult because everything distracts me. Like today, I literally was dusting up here, and I'm, the rafters above me, because I was just distracted at work. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get something done. And so when I'm here at work, we're here at home rather, done with work, I have these books in here that I want to read. But instead it's like, oh, let's watch YouTube, which I do all the time anyway. Let's watch an episode of Criminal Minds, which is a show that we started watching for some reason. I love it, so I'm very happy we did. But let's watch old wrestling. I've been watching so much old wrestling lately, it's just ridiculous. And so let's make lists, because God knows my brain loves making lists for whatever reason of the most ridiculous, stupid things that don't need list making done for. But I started watching Star Trek, and that's been excellent as well. I hope to do something with those. So just kind of random things that my mind's like, yes, you need to do this now. You need to do this now. And that just leaves these books sitting there. So all that is just basically to give myself an out, that if I don't get through these 3, that's kind of why, because I'm so easily distracted. But regardless, let's move over now to the graphic novels I hope to complete for April. You know how sometimes you think to yourself, I want to read this, but I have no idea why, and it's probably going to be pretty crappy, but you do it anyway? That's what I did with this one. So this is A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is, let me pull this open here so I can say it right. This was written by Chuck Dixon, penciled by Kevin West, and the ink was done by Bob Arnold. So this is from 2006, and I was trying to do a little research because this actually contains issues 1 through 3 and then 5 through 7, when I look it up on the DC, this was released by Wildstorm, which is an offshoot of DC, I believe, because when I go onto the DC Comics website, it's there. And so what it tells me is that this was actually an eight-issue run, but issue number 4 was a one-off, essentially. Like, it was about what if... what happens when Freddy Krueger dreams, and it was about the one that got away is what it talks about. And then issue number 8 is something similar where it's a one-off. And so issue 4 and 8 are not canon, if you will, to this 2006 Nightmare on Elm Street run. And then I was thinking 2006, why would this come out in 2006? The remake came out, I think, like 2010, I believe. So why would this come out in 2006? Well, I was reading it, and apparently it was trying to capitalize on it said the new special edition DVD release of A Nightmare on Elm Street. So the original must have had a special edition DVD release at that time. And so they decided they would try to capitalize on it with this. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder when Freddy vs. Jason came out. I feel like that was a couple years prior because I was in high school. So that was probably, 03, 04, somewhere in there. Probably not 06. But anyway, Nightmare on Elm Street. So this one is a new family moves into the infamous area, and it's, are they going to survive type of thing. So the artwork does not look that fantastic, to be honest with you. It's just one that I've had in my collection for a very long time, and for whatever reason I haven't sold it. So I figured, you know what, let's just read it. Why not? It's probably going to be pretty quick, so let's give it a shot, even though it's probably going to be pretty crappy. But A Nightmare on Elm Street from 2006 is the first of the 2 graphic novels I hope to complete in April. The second graphic novel I have in my list is one that is now a Netflix original series, and it is V-Wars. And this is volume 1, entitled Crimson Queen. So this contains issue numbers 1 through 5 of this 11-issue series. The reason I picked this up was because it was written by Jonathan Maberry, who, even though I haven't read his books, I follow him on Twitter and always intended to read his books. And I know he does, supposedly he's supposed to do a great job writing all these different zombie and vampire things that he does. So that's what this one is a vampire story. You can kind of see the art here. This one was written by Maberry. And then I'm not going to find it real quick. I have it written down, but let's not do that. There it is. Alan Robinson. Drawn by Alan Robinson. Art by Alan Robinson. So I'm interested in this one simply because my wife really loved it stars Ian Somerhalder, which is from the Vampire Diaries, who she is obsessed with, and she really liked the season 1 of V-Wars. And I actually just read today that the second season of V-Wars was canceled yesterday. So she was quite upset when I told her that. But I want to read this because I want to check out the series because she liked it so much. So this is one that's probably going to be another quick read. If I like it, I do want to grab volume 2 just because it's such a short series. There's only 11 issues, so I want to finish it if I like it. So I figured that I would check this one out. So V-Wars, written by Jonathan Maberry and art by Alan Robinson, issues 1 through 5. So this is the second graphic novel I hope to complete in April. All right, so let's wrap it up with the 3 movies I hope to watch this month. So first up is one that unfortunately is going to be a carryover from last month, and that is going to be Stephen King's The Stand miniseries from 1994. So I just didn't get to this one. I did watch a Stephen King miniseries in the month of March, but it wasn't The Stand, it was The Shining, which if you've not checked that out, you can see that book versus movie episode right here on the channel. Please check that out if you're interested. This one, though, is super long, and so I just haven't had the desire to put it on. Like I said, I've been watching Star Trek, I've been watching Criminal Minds, I've been watching random stuff I don't need to watch. Not that I need to watch this, but I really want to. So even though this is, like I said last month, I think, just shy of 6 hours, 5 hours, 59 minutes, I really need to get to it this month. So this is one that I hope to prioritize for the month of April. Because it was not one that I got to in March, even though it was on my TBW then. So The Stand by Stephen King. I'm going to get to it this month. I really hope so. Next up is another kind of continuation from my March TBW. And I did watch Aquaman last month. So now the only one in the DCEU I have to finish is Shazam. So this was released in 2019 and I've not seen it. So I need to watch it. And this is another one of my 4K collections. So not only does it help with my DCEU goal, it also helps with my 4K completion goal. So this is Shazam, and I'm really excited to see this one. Have not seen it. I have loved the DCEU up to this point, and I don't imagine this is going to change very much after watching Shazam. So excited to watch this one. The last movie on my TBW is one that I've actually already seen, but it is part of my 4K collection that I have not watched yet, and that is a part of the DCEU Suicide Squad. So this one, like I said, I saw it in theaters. Everybody hated it except me, seemingly. I didn't hate it. I liked it. I had good fun with it. And I think the reason I've been wanting to watch it so much again recently is just because of Harley Quinn with Birds of Prey having released recently. So something that's kind of annoying about this 4K release, though, which frankly, if I wasn't collecting them and I didn't find this for so cheap, I probably wouldn't have bought it on 4K. But it is the fact that the theatrical version is the only version that's on the 4K disc. This is just, you can see it there, theatrical version. This is the 4K disc. The director's cut, which frankly is the version I want to watch now because I've already seen the theatrical version in theaters, that one is only available on the Blu-ray. And it's about looks like 12-minute difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in reality, 12 minutes is quite a bit in film. So I want to see what he does differently with it, if it makes it stand out more, if it makes it more memorable or what. So I will watch the 4K of this just so I can notch it off my 4K belt, if you will. But I do want to see the Blu-ray of it. So I'm not committing to watching both versions. And frankly, if anything's going to fall off the consumption pile this month, it's going to be this one, simply because I've already seen it. But I really hope to get to this one again, just to kind of see if maybe I don't like it as much the second time around, or maybe if I still enjoy it. We'll see. But so Suicide Squad, we'll see if I like this one again. All right, so there is my April TBR and TBW plus Jaws by Peter Benchley. So a lot of cool stuff to read this month and a lot of cool things to watch. So hopefully I will be able to get to all of these by the end of our quarantine, or hopefully by the end of our quarantine, at least by the end of April. So definitely check back in at the end of the month to see what I was able to get through or what I have to move on to the next month. What are you guys hoping to consume in the month of April? Please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys down there. Have you seen any of these? Have you read any of these? Should I put something at the top of the list and maybe bump something off because it's not worth my time? Let me know. I'd love to have more of a conversation with you guys down in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, thank you anyway for watching. I really appreciate it. All right, I want to wish you all the best during these very difficult times and hope that you and your family are all staying safe and staying healthy. If you ever need to talk, you could always hit me up in the comments below or on Twitter. All my links to my social media are right in the description below. So definitely hit me up there if you want to talk about anything media related or otherwise. All right, guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.